while the Republican Party attempts to distance itself from the failed coup attempt last week. Remember, it was members of that same party fanning the flames ahead of the attack on our Capitol.
Call your congressman and feel free, you can lightly threaten them and say, you know what, if you don't start supporting election integrity, I'm coming after you.
Basically, in effect, the ruling would be that you got to go to the streets and be as violent as Antifa and BLM.
We will not go quietly into the night. We will defend liberty into the future, and we are going to win. Today is the day American patriots start taking down names and kicking ass. Are you willing to do what it takes to fight for America?
Joining me now is Jelani Cobb, staff writer at The New Yorker, and Tim Miller, writer-at-large for The Bulwark. And Tim, since I basically kidnapped you from Nicole's show, so I have to go to you first. So thank you so much for being here. I always enjoy watching you on with Nicole. But, I mean, you had people like Lauren Boebert, who apparently a year is but a day. She said, today is 1776. You had Marjorie Taylor Greene, the QAnon lady. It's our 1776 moment. Paul Gosar, join us on January 6th. Biden is an illegitimate usurper. Like, they all were talking revolution, but now they're like, oh, wait, that was me? No, I didn't mean any of that. How can the Republican Party, by any stretch of the imagination, try to distance themselves from what happened on the 6th?
Well, Joy, Nicole's happy to rent me out, so thanks for having me. Look, there's no way to distance, and you know, watching those clips got me all mad all over again. But I want to just go even a step further than you did, which is we all know that Lauren Boebert and Madison Cawthorn and Louis Gohmert and Mo Brooks and Ted Cruz incited this insurrection over a completely phony fraud claim that they fabricated and that the smart ones knew they fabricated. But it went much deeper than that. On the night before the insurrection, Kelly Loeffler was on stage in Georgia with Donald Trump, and she said that I will vote tomorrow to overturn this election, to raucous applause. Every Republican supported Kelly Loeffler when she ran on a pro-coup platform in the Georgia runoff campaign. It wasn't subtle. It was explicit. She supported an overthrowing of the election based on fabricated fraud. There wasn't a single Republican that said, wait a minute, I don't know that I can support somebody that's running for Senate on a pro-coup platform. Not one person said that. She said it on stage with the president. They all support her. Mitch supported her. The NRSC did. Look, this went all the way down. And so, you know, there are a couple exceptions, Adam Kinzinger, Mitt, of course, but man, 90% of the Republicans in Washington supported the insurrection. It was just a matter of whether they silently coddled it or whether they actively encouraged it and incited it.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, on the silently coddled side, Jelani, I put Mitch McConnell, who was happy to let the insurrection whip up what he thought were going to be votes to keep him in the majority. But then when the Jewish guy and the black guy won, suddenly he's like, I'm sick of this Trump guy. He's got to go, right? I mean, it's like now that he doesn't need Trump anymore. He got his tax cuts, got his judges, and lost his majority because of the results of the Senate race, which he blames on Donald Trump. Now he can conveniently be like, right side of history, jumping over. It is not credible.
No, it's not. You know, it's strategic, and you can understand what the calculations are there. But, you know, the fact of the matter is that people saw this coming from a mile away. And, you know, to give you another comparison that's really not very deep in history at all, but when we saw the destruction, the bombing of the Oklahoma City building in 1994, and that target, 168 people killed, it was directly connected to the rhetoric that people have been using, anti-government rhetoric, which had become prominent then as now in the Republican Party, and the reckoning with consequences, saying that even if we didn't directly nurture and assist Timothy McVeigh in what he did, we created a climate in which these kinds of sentiments thrived. And people seem to have lost that message. They forgot that that happened. And we find ourselves a generation later right back in that same sort of situation.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.